Fighting Radio.
Hello and welcome to this brand new edition of 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez. Alongside me, my co-hosts every week, Guillermo Cita, Albert Cita. Today's show is brought to you by our fine line of sponsors. First is Rock and Green eco-friendly cleaning products, the 5 Rounds clothing line, and of course the RMA Foundation, Redemption Martial Arts. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing?
Good, but a little sad. I mean, my Angels, it's opening weekend, aren't doing too hot. So, I mean, they won against...
Yep.
They
won today against
the
Texas
Rangers, but I mean,
lost yesterday.
It's gonna be a long season.
Yeah, Angels. Well, when Charles Nagy is your pitching coach, you have a long season ahead of you. Yeah, baseball season's in swing. My favorite sport, other than mixed martial arts, and
favorite sport, but no favorite team. Very interesting.
And he's an Alex Rodriguez fan.
Was an Alex Rodriguez fan. WAS until I found out just how douchey he was.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to MMA. UFC Fight Night was held on Sunday morning, afternoon, depending on wherever you're at, in Zagreb, Croatia. What's interesting to this card, Guillermo, because since you're the self-proclaimed heavyweight expert of the show.
I wouldn't say self-proclaimed. I just the heavyweight division intrigues me.
Yeah, this particular card had 5 heavyweight bouts total on it, 4 on the main card alone, headlined by a heavyweight bout between former champion Junior Dos Santos. Sorry, I was going to say Rafael Dos Anjos. So Junior Dos Santos against Big Ben Rothwell, just not Ben Rothwell now. So, Guillermo, after if people have listened to the show in the past, we've talked about start round number 1. How the heavyweight division is probably the weakest in the UFC. There's no up and coming young stars, but this card did feature 5 heavyweight bouts. After Sunday's card in Croatia, are you kind of excited for the UFC heavyweight division, or no? Still the same, still bleak.
Still bleak. I mean, there was Derek Lewis,
the Black Beast. I still don't feel comfortable calling that, by the way. I know it's his nickname, but I still don't calling him Black Beast. It's just me. I don't know why.
I mean, he called out Roy Nelson, which I like the path
which makes sense.
Which makes sense, correct. And I mean, he has power, which excites me. And then you look at, I really liked Francis Naguna. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but
Nagano.
Nagano.
I don't know. I just said that horribly wrong.
To me, he's actually more impressive in my book. He's 7-1, I believe.
Yes.
And then the guy.
But it's from France, though. And we all remember the last French heavyweight UFC had. Czech Congo. So.
No, well, he looked good. It sucks that the fight ended in referee stoppage.
Yeah, but it was the right
that guy's
thing.
eye was completely closed.
Curtis
but
Blades.
I think what the UFC is doing is trying to highlight these individuals. The other one that was Timothy Johnson, but I was actually not impressed by him because he seemed
and he shouldn't be.
He was out of shape. He seemed like he barely got through the guy that the other guy didn't even know. But those are the guys I felt they were pushing in this card, and those are the guys that came out with victories. Besides the main event between JDS and Ben Rothwell. So I think
they're slowly getting the guys out there.
They're trying to highlight these certain individuals, those 3 guys specifically. Yeah. I felt the 3 winners, the co-main event, the Timothy Johnson, and the Francis. So.
Yeah, well, Derek Lewis was also a last-minute replacement, right, Albert?
Derek Lewis was replacing Ruslan Magomedov.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. But yeah, he was a late replacement. But Derek Lewis is red hot right now, so it was a good replacement.
Kind of out with the old Gabriel Gonzaga, in with the new.
Well, the thing about Gabriel Gonzaga has some big-time highlight wins.
Yeah.
So I mean, for Derek Lewis to show up in the last minute and beat Gabriel Gonzaga in devastating fashion, I think that gives a lot of credit to Derek Lewis. That's why I think him calling out Roy Nelson makes the perfect sense. And if he beats Roy Nelson, just push him in there. I mean,
might as well.
You talk about these aging heavyweights. You talk about a Frank Mir. You talk about, even though he's not old necessarily, but Skyscraper. I mean, you're talking about the lower end of the heavyweight division. Derek Lewis can jump over these guys.
So let's go ahead and close this round out with the main event, Junior Dos Santos versus Ben Rothwell. People are saying it's the return of JDS. He returned to his boxing, looks crisp. He switched camps. This is his second fight under American Top Team. First fight with his head boxing coach not in his corner when he lost to Alice Overeem. His head boxing coach was not in his corner. I don't know how that person get knocked out, but anyways. Guillermo Cita again. Heavyweight expert. JDS is back? No? People can.
I mean, you expected JDS to destroy Ben Rothwell. I just didn't see that. Everybody, gave JDS a lot of credit, and so he fought smart. let's give him that. He fought smart. But the thing is, if you look in the first round, if Ben Rothwell doesn't get tired, and the first round Ben Rothwell attacked and he looked great. It felt like he got tired, and then JDS just used that length, the strength, the jab, the front kicks. And he just played the safer fight. I think.
Well, you named a lot of tools right there. The jab, the front kick. That's a lot of tools for a heavyweight to have on there. But when you're
talking about the top heavyweights, they're coming to knock you out. I mean, you talk about
with top heavyweights, what Verdum, Stipe, and Cain Velasquez.
Yeah,
the top three.
The top three. These guys are pushing forward.
Yeah.
These guys are looking to exchange.
True.
True. And that's why Junior Dos Santos doesn't look comfortable against those guys.
Albert, the return of JDS? No. Yes. Yes. No.
100% no.
No.
A couple things. One, I really think this matchup was to Dos Santos' favor because he was able to use his actual speed that he has over a lot of heavyweights. He sticked and moved. Yeah. I mean, to say like, oh, I saw leaps and bounds of Dos Santos, I don't think so. I saw the same good boxing. He's always had good boxing. But obviously, we saw what happens when he faces a multiple striker in Overeem. And then, plus, we know what happens when he faces a ground specialist.
Yeah, a grappler.
He really, to me, that would have been the test. If he would have fought maybe someone that was a better grappler or someone that was more mixed in their striking. I think Ben Rothwell has two unique features. One being, obviously, he has heavyweight power. And the second being that he usually uses his weight very good against his opponents, and it just so happens he couldn't use these two features. But I think without showing, having a matchup where he can actually see someone with mixing up their striking or someone pressuring him and taking him to the ground, I don't see how this was a plus for him in any way.
So after this fight, JDS is still number 3? He's number 3 behind Velasquez and Stipe.
They got him. They got him number 5.
Stays 5.
Stays 5.
He stays 5.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Stays 5. That's it for round number 1. Good opening round.
If anything, Mark Hunt goes up. Why? I don't know.
Just because Mark Hunt. Good opening round. Round 2 is going to come up next. We'll talk about Frank Mir and his reportedly failed drug test and what excuse he's saying that it was kangaroo meat that kind of triggered us. So stick around. Welcome back. Time for round number 2. So news broke over the weekend, late over the weekend, that Frank Mir potentially, supposedly failed his drug test, his post-fight drug test, when he fought Mark Hunt in Australia. And credit to Frank Mir, he jumped right ahead of this and went on his social media account and said, quote, "To all my fans and supporters, I recently been notified by USADA that the test I took on the night the fight came back positive for substance that I did not take. I do not know I do not know how this is possible. I did not take any performance-enhancing drugs to compete. I have never tested positive for a banned substance since joining the UFC and becoming a 2-time champion. I ask all of you to hold judgment against me until all the facts have been revealed. Thank you, Frank Mir." And then he was on a phone booth fighting podcast with Richard Hunter, and he said that he ate maybe at a restaurant in Australia had some kangaroo meat that could have triggered the positive test. So I guess all this stuff's kind of come in. He also said that if the B sample of the test comes back positive, he's going to retire for good from MMA. So what does this mean?
I was going to say, if anything, this is the writing on the wall. I mean, like, I'm gonna hold judgment until the facts come out.
Yeah.
I think Frank Mir deserves that.
I think so too.
Never been shown that he's ever used performance-enhancing drugs, but I mean, like, if he did take it inadvertently, look at the results that came with it. I mean, it's the writing on the wall, and not only that, if you take enhancing drugs and you still can't compete in this weight class, because heavyweight division is tough. You're talking about heavy hands. And he's great. Everybody gives him so much credit on the booth. I mean, he has a secondary career in that.
Honestly, it should be Brian Stan and Frank Mir alongside John Anik or whoever else. I mean, you could probably get rid of Goldberg too. I mean, Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan says he wanted to leave anyway, so might as well. This story triggered my attention because not that long ago, Yoel Romero got his sentence reduced because he said he took a substance that he didn't know had something that was on the ban list that triggered his post-fight test. So he got suspended from 9 months to 6 months. So, I mean, this could be like the new trend of the, hey, I didn't know I was taking this. Can you guys cut me some slack type of thing?
There's a difference, though. If you know you're taking a substance compared to you're eating something that you're not accustomed to eating and maybe that has something that's banned, that's completely different. If you're taking vitamins and supplements, I mean, like, and you're not checking, then that's totally different.
But it kind of seems like
you don't go to a restaurant and say, "Hey, chef, what's in my food?"
It seems like the public is more willing to forgive an athlete who jumps ahead of it and says, I took it, I'm sorry, than people who kind of deny. Look in baseball, look at Barry Bonds, deny. But guys like Mark McGwire, Andy Pettit, they're coming out and say, I might have took something and forgive me. Sammy Sosa still denies stuff. Rafael Palmeiro still denies stuff. These guys are still
and they all have better taste in their, when we talk about, I mean, for Mark McGwire works in the MLB as a hitting coach.
Barry Bonds is back now too, but he still has a stigma to him. But I mean, like, is this kind of the trend now? If a fighter, tests positives, they guys, it was on me, or I didn't know I took something, and then their sentence gets reduced, and like they're forgiven in the public eye and the eye of the fans.
It really depends. I mean, every person's for Yoel Romero. I mean, like there's been talks that he might be taking something illegal for the longest. I mean,
it's called Jesus juice.
But just by
Jesus juice.
But by the physique alone, I mean, like people have had questions all along.
You looked at Frank Mir's last, like his physique in the last fight.
Yeah.
You could have fooled me. He took steroids. It's like it almost reminded me when I found out that William Regal got caught with banned substance. I was like, William Regal,
the wrestler.
Yeah, the wrestler. That guy doesn't look like a guy that abuses steroids.
Yeah.
And then the other thing about Yoel Romero, I mean, like, it's not an excuse or anything like that, but you talk about his fight against Tim Kennedy, the cheating, the oiling, all that stuff. I mean,
his reputation is already kind of set in stone.
It all adds up to his reputation compared to Frank Mir. You really don't hear nothing like he's done things wrong.
Yeah, and this kind of ties into it. If Frank Mir does decide to hang him up, that's another spot in with the. Is he top 10 or what is he, top 10, top 12?
He's actually exactly number 10. But I do find it weird that if he does come out positive, he says he's going to retire. But if he says he didn't do it intentionally, that doesn't make sense to me. That you retire because you unintentionally took steroids. Does that make sense? So because if it comes, from what I understood, if it comes out negative, he's not retiring.
But no. Well,
so how does that make? But see how that doesn't make sense to me.
It makes a little sense because if you're gonna contest it, it's just so much energy and legal stuff that you have to go.
He might get suspended anyways because he still had something in the system.
I guess.
Same thing, Romero, you took a substance that wasn't on the list.
I wish we had connections to Australia because I'm pretty sure that sounds kind of illegal that you're eating a kangaroo.
I'm pretty sure it sounds very illegal.
I mean, a horse. I could think like I guess that's borderline.
Overeem fan.
Yeah, but I'm just saying kangaroo. I mean, I'm pretty sure Australia isn't cool with that. Are they?
Is that their, or is that or the koala their national animal?
I know.
All right, that's it for round number 2. Round number 3, we're gonna talk about the big news of Khabib Nurmagomedov losing an opponent, almost having an opponent, and then getting an opponent of not so big names. But stick around, guys. Time for round number 3. The return of Khabib Nurmagomedov is coming well upon us. I don't know what date, Aubrey. Can you find out?
The sparring contest.
The sparring
that is
Nurmagomedov. It was supposed to be a big time, potentially number 1 contender matchup between him and El Cucuy, Tony Ferguson. For a long time, these guys have been rumored to fight each other.
So it's gonna be next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Horcher.
Yes. So. Okay, let me bring up the story, Kevin. Don't bury the lead here.
Yeah. Sorry.
So it was supposed to be a big time, possibly number 1 contender match between Ferguson and Khabib, but then news broke last week that Tony Ferguson had blood in his lungs or was developing fluid in his lungs.
Wow.
That he had an absolute.
That was a serious thing.
Yeah, serious thing. It wasn't like knee injury like that. So he had to pull out. And of course, as soon as news broke out, I mean, whenever somebody pulls out the light heavyweight, who's the first name? Cowboy Cerrone. He even said himself, "I'm willing to fight I'm willing to step in and fight at short notice." But I'm scheduled to fight Patrick O'Tay in June. I want both fights to happen if it's going to happen. So, and it seemed like it actually was going to happen. Cowboy versus Khabib. I think they went on like a Twitter war for like a good hour on.
Dude, that was one of the best Twitter exchanges I've seen in a while.
They were going straight at it. Yeah,
they were even saying like, "Dude, I signed right now. Where's your signature?"
Yeah,
and then like they're taking pictures of their contracts saying, "Look, I signed. Did you sign?"
Wow.
And it was going back and forth. It was pretty good.
And then the next day, what did they announce? Khabib Nurmagomedov versus who, Albert? What's the guy's name?
Daryl Horcher
to make his UFC
the Saint
UFC debut after all that drama with Cowboy Cerrone. Kind of seems like Khabib's gonna give me there. Guillermo, is that true?
Sorry.
Is he giving a give me fight, a warm up fight?
No, you know what? I said that maybe prematurely.
Well,
I'm looking at the statistics.
I'm
looking by the statistics. He's 12-1. I mean, he has
torture, right?
Yeah, he has 50% of them are KOs, 8% are submission. So I mean, like maybe Dana White saw potential in this guy.
Yeah.
That you know what? let's give him the test of Khabib Nurmagmodev. Khabib hasn't fought in, 2 years?
Practically.
So, I mean, I guess now, now that I'm looking at the stats, I mean, like, maybe Tony Ferguson was, above his level because he's been inactive.
There also was reports, too, Ferguson's only been out a few weeks at that. So they're actually maybe thinking about rescheduling this bout altogether. So maybe that's just a warm-up for Khabib. Not a warm-up, but I mean, like, just get back in there. And then if he does win, we'll schedule Ferguson right away during the summer.
The thing is, I'm not upset that the fight is not taking place because this fight was supposed to take place earlier, and Khabib was injured, pulled out. And so Tony Ferguson fought someone completely different. I forgot who it was. But, so I'm not mad at that. What I'm mad at is we had this perfect matchup with Cowboy Cerrone. And Khabib Nurmagmodev is the number 2 ranked lightweight in the world. Yeah. And you're going to give him someone that's not even been in the UFC. Someone that if he beats, he was supposed to beat him anyway. If you give him Cowboy Cerrone, now you legitimize Khabib that he's back. And he deserves a number 1 contender. He can even forget about that Tony Ferguson fight. He can already propel himself to a number 1 contendership.
Albert, rebuttal?
A couple things. Before, I don't know if it'll change your viewpoint on Hoover, but his only loss is against Philippe Nover. Remember him? He was that Asian nurse guy, and then he would have like seizures or something before a fight, and then like.
Yeah.
I think that's his only loss too. So I don't know if that changes your mind in any bit.
I saw that he beat your boy Richie.
My boy Richie. Yeah. So he beat Richie, but I think the reason why the Cowboy fight didn't come about was I think they were trying to make it at 170. And I think they already have enough headaches as it is in this 170 weight class with Conor McGregor that they don't want to. I want to say spoil another top contender, but like a matchup that doesn't make sense in a weight class that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And plus, Cowboy Cerrone has already made it seem like he's trying to make a home at 170, so it doesn't make sense to face.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's plenty of 155ers out there that they could have probably put him against. Why put him against somebody that's not even fought in the UFC before? Nobody knows who this guy is.
Well, I mean, like you think about the 155ers. I mean, off the top of my head,
go to the list.
Anthony Pettis is going to fight this Saturday as well. So I mean. I guess they could have put him on that card against Anthony, but then you risk of him fighting Edson Barboza too. So it's like what? I mean, top of your head, what other lightweights could have filled in? I mean, RDA was calling him out, but he wanted for UFC 200.
Yeah.
So I mean, but then like a title shot. But
I heard Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson probably would have been a great match.
I think he heard he faced Michael Johnson, didn't he? Or no, El Cucuy faced Michael
Johnson.
Yes. Johnson. That's it was just a difficult situation.
Who's Eddie Alvarez fighting?
Nobody's waiting for a title shot, remember?
Oh, this would have been perfect scene.
But, I mean, honestly, yeah, it sucks. We're not seeing Ferguson versus Khabib. It sucks we're not seeing Khabib versus Cowboy. But the good news is Khabib is healthy again. This guy has the potential to be.
If this was a WWE
champion.
match, this would be a squash match before we even. No, but this is if we.
On paper, it's a squash match.
Well,
no disrespect to Horcher.
Squash match, correct. Yeah, on paper, it's a squash match.
No disrespect to Horcher.
Yeah.
Is it Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins? Maybe.
But the good news is.
What, say that's a squash match?
No. But the good news is Khabib looks to be healthy, and then if we get this guy going, maybe 2016 could be a pretty big year for the Bear or the Russian Bear or whatever. So that's it for round number 3. The first part of the show. We'll take a quick little break. We'll come back into the championship rounds, talk about Miesha Tate, and she's ducking Holly Holm now. So stick around, everybody. Welcome back. Time to enter the championship rounds. Round number 4 was announced. I think the final big bout for UFC 200 was announced. Amanda Nunes will face newly crowned women's bantamweight champion Miesha Tate in her first title defense. But this kind of came as a surprise to some people because maybe people
everybody
thought,
to me
to you
definitely.
So maybe people thought it was going to be Miesha Tate against Holly Holm once again, but the UFC decided nope, we're going to get Amanda Nunes up in there and face Miesha Tate for her first title defense. So do you like this matchup, Nunes versus Tate for the title?
I don't. I think the rematch made more sense against Miesha Tate versus Holly Holm than it did for Amanda Nunes. No disrespect to Amanda Nunes, but I think it really sounds like Miesha Tate is trying to go around. You know what? This this is the real issue. The UFC had a plan for Holly Holm.
Yeah.
The plan was for the rematch to set place against Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
And she said, no, I want to
Holly
fight.
Holm, you set out 1 year until Ronda Rousey's good and ready to return.
Correct. And so then Holly Holm faced Miesha Tate. She didn't retain her belt. So then UFC said, you know what? You screwed with us. We're going to screw with you. Yeah. That's what it really comes down to.
So on Friday, she spoke Tate with Fox Sports because people are going around saying she's ducking Holly Holm. And she said, do you know what? I didn't because the fight was never offered. She said, I asked the UFC, whoever, this is a quote, I asked the UFC, whoever you think is the next toughest fight for me, whatever you guys think. And they came back and said, we'd like to open up the division. How about Amanda Nunes? So it's kind of weird. We want to open up a division now after the UFC immediate rematches left and right.
Do you think that if Miesha Tate said, I want Holly Holm again, that UFC would have gave it to her, but because she left it open, the UFC is like, you know what?
I guess
now
not.
We had the power.
Yeah, and she went on to assume. They want to assume I turned down Holly. I absolutely did not turn down a rematch with Holly Holm. It wasn't something that was brought up to the table. It wasn't something that was offered to me. They asked about Amanda Nunes, and I said yes. If that's what you guys think, that's next in line. If that's what the way you guys want to go, I'm 100% in. It's kind of coincidence too that a few weeks ago Brian Carey was talking about getting Amanda Nunes a title shot. And now she said, yeah, or
look, I'm gonna give Miesha Tate the benefit of the doubt here.
Clear stuff for me. I mean,
and say, yeah, this is who UFC offered. But I'll tell you one thing though. That's not how you draw numbers, and that's not how you become a super mega star. And I think that's the problem with Demetrius Johnson. Is he an exciting fighter? Yes, but him himself doesn't sell. But see, this was Miesha Tate's perfect thing to grasp it. Conor McGregor and being like, you know what? Holly Holm, it wasn't a fluke. Guess what? You want to go again? We can go again. I'll show you it's not a fluke. This was a perfect chance for her for to extend it. And on top of this, if UFC was going to pick somebody, I really wish it would have been Kat Zingano. I know that she was injured and she has that stigma of losing so quickly to Ronda Rousey, but I give that more because
she beat Miesha Tate in the past.
Miesha Tate, and she beat Amanda Nunes, who they offered the fight to, Miesha Tate.
So
with that said, I think Miesha Tate pretty much didn't take control of her own career, to say.
I blame Brian Caraway again.
Yeah, it's almost like the old John Jones thing, where John's all like, "Oh, I'll take on anybody, but I won't say any names at all."
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And the thing is, I don't know why people make it out to seem like Miesha Tate dominated Holly Holm. I mean, like, it came down to the last round. I had Holly Holm winning the fight if it wasn't for that last-minute takedown and rear naked choke.
It's so funny, like, that when she says, oh, the UFC, how about they said, let's open up the division now, as opposed to, like, not that long ago, no, it's Ronda Rousey or bust for anybody who wants to ever fight. So now they want to open up the division now, or was that how it goes?
And don't get it wrong, I'm not mad about the matchup. I actually excited to see Amanda Nunes versus Miesha Tate.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel that she could have catapulted her career even further if she would have taken control of this matchup, rather than just be like, okay, I'll take Amanda Nunes.
It's unfortunate for Amanda Nunes that she's in the era now of all these hand-picked rematches the UFC does. There's no consistency on what constitutes a rematch. It's if the UFC likes you and if they want to give you another shot, they'll give you a rematch, because we've seen great matchups for title fights that, like Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler. People don't want to see that match again. Right? Nope, Rory, it's going to be,
I want to see that
be something else now. Carlos Condit versus Robbie Lawler again. Nope, we're not seeing that again. So, but yet, guys who get choked out like Velasquez, oh, well, we'll give you another shot. People who get knocked out like Ronda Rousey, oh, we'll give you another shot. So, and Chris Weidman, he got knocked out by Luke Rockhold, oh, we'll give you another shot. But then, like, Jose Aldo can't get another shot to a title. So where's the consistency here? And that's what sucks for Amanda Nunes is, okay, well, if you're giving all these people all these unfair, unwarranted rematches, why can't Holly Holm get one?
Well, and then the other thing, the credit to Holly Holm, she didn't tap out. So, I mean, like, she was
she went out like a G.
I mean, I think there's a quote
like
from
a G.
Give her some credit for it.
Quote Dana White called her a gangster for going on LA radio, so going out like a gangster. So, I mean, but...
If anything, I appreciate Holly Holm even more.
Yeah, I think it's disrespectful for Holly Holm. If anything, have Holly Holm in the exact same card at UFC 200. Why not? It looks like I saw an Instagram photo of her. She's still in amazing shape. She was training with John Jones.
So yeah, I mean, for anything, it's a backup, right?
It just feels like they're disrespecting Holly Holm. That's what it really
don't
feels
ever
like.
say no to the boss.
I wouldn't say that. But.
Or maybe they're saving her for a Cyborg fight, because Cyborg is coming up in UFC 198. Fighting at 140. I mean, Holly Holm was.
Let's see who really steps up to that Cyborg after.
Yeah, I know she's officially on the UFC banner.
Well, we have a catch weight coming up, so we'll see how
Leslie
she does.
Smith, man.
Give her Kat Zingano.
Leslie Smith.
I'm riding Kat Zingano all the way through. By the way,
lasts about 14 seconds. So that's it for round number 4. Stick around. One more round coming up. Stick around, everybody. Time for the 5th and final round. So let's get a little bit deeper into this whole rematch thing the UFC's been, throwing away or throwing at these past few months. So have you guys able to dictate what it takes to get a rematch for the UFC and a title bout nowadays? Or is it kind of like, at first, oh, those are great matches, let's do it again. But we've seen great matches go without a rematch. It was like, okay, you're a long-reigning champion. No matter how you win or lose, you're getting a rematch no matter what. So what is the option? Because for everyone you can think of, the UFC contradicts itself. If you're a long-reigning champion like Cain Velasquez, he's a let's get him a rematch. But Jose Aldo gets knocked out, no rematch for Jose Aldo type of thing. So
I think there's two special lists: the list of the fans and the list of Dana White.
Yeah.
If you're in one of those two lists, you get an immediate rematch. Jose Aldo is not on either list. Cain Velasquez is on both lists.
Yeah.
So I mean, like even if Cain Velasquez loses, the fans will still show up. The fans will still pay for the pay-per-views. You see him on all these Metro PCS, all these UFC commercials, everything. He's on Dana White's list too. Yeah. So Dana White is gonna give him the benefit of the doubt every single time. Same thing with his boy John Jones. Maybe he's not on the fan list, but he's on Dana White's list.
Let me propose to you guys a scenario too.
Okay.
Right. Let's say Henry Cejudo defeats Mighty Mouse. Right?
Convincingly or decision?
No, convincingly defeats him.
Okay.
Mighty Mouse has been the only flyweight champion. Do you think he's gonna get an immediate title shot if he gets beat?
Well, he should.
He should.
He should.
Yeah.
But would he?
Probably not.
Probably not. And I think that sums up the whole spectrum. You can be a dominant champion. You can be one of the world pound for pound one of the best, but if you don't have what's aka the selling factor, then it doesn't matter to do the rematch. It's more like, dude, just go get a couple fights and then we'll give it back to you.
It sounds like Mighty Mouse is not a fan favorite and he's not on Dana White's list.
Well, what about Chris Weidman though? Is he kind of a fan favorite and on Dana White's list?
I don't think he's a fan favorite. I think he's more on Dana's boys.
Well, let me connect the dots for you.
Matt Serra.
Yeah, he trained Matt Serra. Matt Serra is Dana White's boy for life.
Yeah. But then also Chris Weidman's kind of benefited from Yoel Romero testing positive.
Yeah,
correct.
That's true too.
Special circumstances.
And then I think Chris Weidman holds a little special place because he was the first man to technically defeat Anderson Silva.
The thorn on Dana White's side.
Yeah, so I think with that, I mean, it's hard. He's in a special situation because he did that. I think any other fighter, they're not in that type of situation. I mean, Rafael Dos Anjos, let's take him for example, right? He gets beat. I don't see him getting an automatic title shot at all. And then that's against anybody.
I'll give you guys a good example of someone that fits the mold, which is Uriah Faber. I mean, this guy gets title shot after title shot. He gets his rematch with
he keeps winning
Dominic.
Yeah, he does keep winning.
But
it's hard.
Once he gets to the championship level, though, he loses. He's lost every single fight.
True.
Yeah. So, but he gets his rematch from Dominic Cruz. When was the last time they fought? Was it like 2007?
Yeah.
We're 2016, and he's getting his rematch now that Dominic Cruz is healthy.
Yeah. So wasn't like Dillashaw versus Cruz a pretty good technical fight, right? I think the fans team enjoyed it. Where was Dillashaw's team because he's not really on the
exactly. Yeah. I mean that fight was so close, Dillashaw versus Dominic Cruz, and you skip over Dillashaw like, hey, thank you for getting rid of or beating Renan Barão.
Or we go back to those battles that Robbie Lawler had with Warren McDonald. Wasn't like all-time classic? People want to see round number 2, but no, we're gonna go ahead and get Carlos Condit. And then Carlos Condit has an awesome rematch with Robbie Lawler. There's no talk about a rematch for Carlos Condit at all. So I mean, where is the consistency here?
There is no consistency.
There isn't, except
it's almost like this ranking system.
Yeah.
What's the point of having it if you're not consistent with the ranking system? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
How can you be ranked number 1 but yet not be the guy up for the title?
Yeah. And
then what's the point in having a ranking system?
And then we go to this.
It makes no sense.
The women's bantamweight, Ronda Rousey gets handled by Holly Holm pretty decisively. Really nothing there. You saw Holly Holm would have a better shot the second go around. Automatic rematch. Okay, she's the number 1 champion, but okay, you kind of see that. But Holly Holm, it's kind of a closer fight between Miesha Tate. Yeah. No rematch for Holly Holm at all. So it's kind of like.
Can you guys imagine that if Ronda Rousey was healthy enough and willing enough to fight right now at this moment, that she would be fighting Miesha Tate at UFC 200 and not Amanda Nunes?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that's so bogus. And then when you come back in November, it's an automatic title shot.
Of course it is. Yeah, it's gonna be whoever the champion is. She's gonna be because she's Ronda Rousey. That's not it because she's on Dana White's list.
Yeah.
Oh, both lists actually for fans and but again. maybe we need to be reprogrammed. This is the way it's going to be now because early on, well, we're not boxing. You know, there's no planned fights here. You got to win. You got to fight the best, you know, to be the best. Now we're getting to this era where a lot more money is being involved. A lot more money is being invested in these fighters where the UFC is going to be, you know, looking out for their best interests. So maybe we just get used to it as MMA fans saying, hey, you know what? This is the way it's going to be from the future from now on. So
it's pretty simple. You have to just keep winning if you need a title shot.
So Machida won't get a rematch versus Hendo. Just so you know, Albert.
Down the road.
Down the road. All right, that's it for today's show. Good show, gentlemen. Until then, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 5RoundMMA. That's FIVE. Make sure to like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic. And please visit 5RoundMMA.com. You can also check out this podcast and many other MMA podcasts at FightBookMMA.com. That's FightBookMMA.com under the podcast, MMA.com. Under the podcast page. Again, a big thank you to all of our sponsors. First with Rocking Green eco-friendly cleaning products, the 5 Rounds clothing line, and of course the RMA Foundation, Redemption Martial Arts, Rise Up Against Bullying. Albert, what do you
got? Damn it, Vince. You're making me watch New Japan to get my fix. I only wait for Wednesdays for NXT now. Raw, SmackDown, you're very disappointing.
Oh, yeah, the cream of the crop.
You are now listening to FRMMA Radio.